What's good, everybody? Welcome back to the Headspace Podcast. It's episode 35.
Jesus.
It's your boy, HSR.
Yo, it's your boy, Chris Chrome.
You got the doctor in the house, guys. You got Dr. Daemon right here, and 35 indeed.
Dude, it's flown by.
weeks.
Like, I'm not gonna lie, I kind of lost count.
I'll just keep it by that 26 is 6 months, a half a year. So
Right.
it's that much farther.
I just want to say, guys, like, are you gonna go for it?
I was just gonna bring up the soda stream.
Yeah.
Because I didn't replace the carbon, and we're still on water.
Oh,
To be
you
fair-
hopped on my flex, yay!
To be fair, this is Friday night, the same day of this album releases. I don't know. Apparently, it got leaked early. I didn't know.
Sorry,
that.
guys, I apologize.
And, yeah, he's fucking not available.
Listen,
on
my
normal
father turns
It's fine.
It's okay.
It's
okay.
fine. They care about the music either way, so it's later than normal, a little tired and sillier than normal.
We're a little bit cracked in the head, guys.
Listen, it
I was
suits
gonna
the
get it
album that
tomorrow.
we're talking about today,
Fuck
okay?
it, Chris introduced that shit.
Fuck it. So for this week's Headspace album, we decided to go with Public Enemy's brand new album. I forgot it, man. I did. I'm not even gonna try to hide.
Nothing is quick in the desert, guys.
Thank you
and
for the
really,
save.
like, lately, I did feel like, honestly, a Public Enemy. So for 35, I feel like it's pretty good. Guys, remember, this is our opinion on what we felt on the freaking tracks, guys.
Also-
it's important to say that we're also not part of this. Like, we're Canadian.
And
Give
on
us a
top of
chance.
that,
Like,
as
we're-
much as we're being music critics, we're like in our first year, totally amateur, and fact checking is not always the easiest thing to do with limited resources. So please be forgiving
We're
if
working
we
on it.
offend you with our ignorance along the way. This is our impressions, and I'm looking at you, haters of the internet, but we love your comments.
We
Oh, we
do.
do.
We take the criticism
do.
positively, guys, and we never take anything. We acknowledge everything as an opportunity, guys. So bring it on
But when did y'all first hear about Public Enemy? Daemon?
today.
Oh.
I didn't read the group chat at all until today. My week was berserk. The fact that I even accepted to get out of my asylum and come here, you guys have a special place in my heart.
And
All right, I
Chris?
pulled the friend card. I was like, David, please.
And Chris?
Well, actually, I knew Public Enemy from one of the Tony Hawk Pro Skater games or one of those skateboarding games they were on. I can't remember the song, but I know I remember seeing Public Enemy. My father knew them, so he used to play them a little bit. I used to know them from them. And of course, if you check out our other show, Classic Quest, we did a review on Bum Rush the Show. So that's when I found out about them as well.
When you check that out and it's really bad, be forgiving. It's really bad and we know it. So feel free to go hate on that one. But it was new. It was 1987. We didn't really know how to handle hip hop as well as we've come to gain some clocking on. But yeah, so Public Enemy.
Well, to be real, honestly, I just want to get this out there. It was kind of cool to have this album this
Yes.
week because it's like, it's a weird, funky blast from the past type modern. Anyway, it's all over
And
the
it's
place.
a
but
chance
it's-
to revisit the Public Enemy
Exactly.
game and do them some justice after our giant clusterfuck.
It wasn't that bad, man.
Okay, I didn't watch it, to be honest.
It wasn't that bad.
That's the problem.
Listen, we tried. Look,
No,
there's.
but- Okay, I am going to watch it, and I'll post a beautiful comment. Yes, this is a Daemon challenge. I need to get more active on the YouTubers. I read your comment, guys. I'm just not the clippity clips because that's all I do all day. But before we get into this album, guys, we need to say, if ever you're not down for the clippity clap and the chittity chat, you can click on that little arrow at the bottom. It's like right
Show more.
there. It says show more,
And
and then you'll be able to jump track from track, and we'll be able to be
Exactly.
awesome and awesomer, and you'll see like you won't want to jump after a bit, maybe.
That's it.
Filthy
So we're
energy.
gonna just yeah. I jumped on Public Enemy though back in college a bit, and then I didn't really listen to them until we reviewed them, and then I haven't listened to them much since. So I'll be honest, I wasn't sure what to expect with this, but then I saw the album cover,
Yeah.
and that album cover is fucking ridiculous. It's just a desert with all this like fucking equipment sitting there.
Although, you know what? Something that hit me when I did see the album cover this morning, it seems to me like a lot of the artists and rap groups that came out in like 80s and 90s when it was starting, they tend to stick to that old school look. Like when A Tribe Called
Old
Quest.
school.
Well, look at A Tribe Called Quest when they came out with their new album. I felt like the album cover still looked a little bit like
but
a little retro-y a little bit
I
still
didn't
like
think that this album looked retro. I felt like because if you look at it, it's a desert and it's a bunch of broken ass fucking computers, but it looks like really nice, almost like futuristic, and shit's kind of like in the past, and you've like found these ancient relics.
I think that's why I think it's retro.
There's like the CD cover of Yo Bum Rush the Show sitting there, and it says "Expect Death" on the bottom of the cover, which is fascinating.
Accept death.
You're right.
Accept death.
It's inevitable, guys.
But like for me, it gave me like at first glance of it, it gave me like a broken post-apocalyptic music feel, like sort of like. Okay, the desert is there, but the way that it was put up, like the altar type of shit, it's sort of like, and listening to the album, it's sort of like validated my point, as I explained to you in the middle of it. It's just like, it's like we what's the word? We praise, we fucking, anyways.
Praise.
There's another word. We worship. We worship what nostalgia is, but we don't necessarily like it. It's not understood, but it's there. But we're gonna worship it. Like it's like we don't.
I like that.
Okay,
I like that.
It's funny because now that I've listened to the album, my opinion on the covers changed a bit. It's a little different. I feel like it's more. What we did back then, what we created is like an archaeological find of the cultural history.
Dude, that is so
fucking whatever. And I have to say, like, I'm not really that big into the album covers normally, but this one was really intriguing because it appealed to the sci-fi geek in me a little bit.
But that's what I'm saying, like.
And I don't know, it's dope. And then what's the name of the album?
Nothing is quick. Nothing is quick in the desert.
Yeah, so given the name is Nothing is Quick is in the Desert, and you have this like it actually the cover even plays on to the title to give you this idea and this old school technology in the desert, kind of slow.
Like yeah.
I don't know. It was really like, man, they really thought this through, and I was impressed. Like honestly, I was like, okay, Public Enemy, your old ass man shit. Your old ass man shit is clearly fucking like coming through with some, because they're old, right?
Yeah.
With like some dope wisdom and awesome art, and I was really excited to hear the album.
Well, how about we just jump right into it and let's start talking about it then.
All right, guys. So as we all know, nothing is quick in the desert.
It's down, 'cause there ain't no front in it. Steady staying chained to that wagon.
Oh, talk about a silver tongue. You got Chuck D in there.
And Flava Flav introduces up with the intro. Okay, I gotta give Flava Flav credit. He sounds pretty normal. Awesome. I was really appreciative
on that track.
Okay.
On that track.
That one.
Okay.
On this specific track.
And then the beat though is great. It's got
the beats.
Clearly like that rock element almost added into it. The hard hitting fucking.
Yeah, it gave you a solitary walk type of.
But
like,
it's some like if for me when I first heard it, I was like, this is really cool. I like to see or actually hear the way they transitioned from what they were to the new type of style, like the new type of sound.
And then they drop bars, and like it was proper. Like Chuck D comes in with some like knowledge, and it's almost like contextualizing the album in this song, right? To introduce it, like, look, we kind of see what the state of music is, how you guys are being played, what's happening, the impact of your actions, and we're here. We're still here.
Right.
We got some knowledge for y'all.
I have to say, like, my favorite line out of it is, like, the absolute last one. He says, like, only death comes quick in the desert.
Yeah.
And I can't articulate. I am sorry.
I did notice, and I have to give credit to the genius for this one, that apparently the idea of the desert is to represent the survival of, like, them, the culture, the thing, saying that they're resilient, right?
I actually got
and this
that.
is, like, from Chuck D himself. And he's saying that the idea is in the desert, you have to be really wise and resourceful and smart to scrounge together.
Be able
and blah,
to
blah,
survive.
blah. So the idea of desert MCs, I'm taking it then, is like, you know, the wise folk have to kind of band together and kind of, I don't know. I didn't have enough time to like fully wrap my head around it, but it got my brain kind of like spinning in this idea of change is necessary, that there is value in wisdom. It's almost like it hit this part of me that was like what the Jay-Z album was supposed to do for me according to the comments, and I apologize if I missed that one, but this one hit me nicely and I got it. It was really cool. I give this a fucking 5. It was one of the nicest starts to an album mixtape thingy, because it's kind of a mixtape feel to it,
right?
Of any like fucking album we've heard in a while, at least.
I really enjoyed it. I have to say I stumbled on it a little bit on the meeting. However, I did get that the desert was a little bit the survival thing. I gave it a 4 just because I would not be able to bump this every day, but I feel like the more I listen to it, the more I like it. And like, you know, guys, the doctor sticks to what she has written. It doesn't change, unfortunately, from the first listen. So at that point, I gave it a 4, but right now I'm listening to it, after having listened to it again, I'd give this a 5. Like,
honestly, the way you make it sound, it reminds me of that scene in Shrek where they're describing how the onions have layers.
Yes.
As you go
yes.
further into it.
Yes.
And I have to agree with that idea.
Actually, that's the same reason I actually gave this a 4 on 5. It's a really great intro, really shapes the beginning of the album. I didn't really get the meaning. I mostly got a little, I'm not going to lie, starstruck on Chuck D's voice. It's so different compared to what I remember, or at least from when we did the review.
It's like 30 years of talent and practicing paid right the fuck
like,
off in
it's
this
just
case.
so raw. But again, I wouldn't really bump this a lot just because I think I wouldn't bump this in 2017. I'm right now. I'm
crazy.
like, just for me, I'm on a different tip
This
right
shit
now.
was on
You're on
Spotify,
a different vibe?
you plussing
Yeah,
it.
like I'm on a different
Ooh,
vibe. But
yes.
to be real, this song is a really, really great song, and it really does wonders for the intro of it.
Fair enough, bro. All I gotta say is speak. This was dope.
This was insane. This is where I went, holy fuck, I am excited. This is going to be crazy. I like how they brought in the guitar solo at the end. It is really crazy. I like the drums as well. They're so profound when they're just
saying it all this
they're just
time.
being hit and just fucking going at it. And on top of all that, I really like the message because Chuck D just like kind of man, he just turns around and he's like, you know what, just speak your fucking mind. Like,
Don't use the guns.
right, like forget violence and stuff. We can always change the aspect of the situation when it comes to just speaking your mind. And we have to kind of look at it in a way where it's like, you're not wrong, I'm not wrong. You just have to take it for what it is and accept what I'm saying. You know what I mean?
I agree with him, actually. He said it all spot on.
What?
It's
That's
just,
like
where the
what?
fuck did this come from?
Crow?
Well, so over
You
listen,
got
I'm gonna
smacked
defend
recently.
this. I'm gonna defend this unlike many things. So first off, I did the review, my personal review this morning, so I have it all fresh in my brain, and I'm really, really ready for this. Second of all, I kind of got smacked on YouTube. Appreciate it.
Did you?
I got smacked in a very like foozy way because the way I took it, it was like no, because like
Careful.
Hold on. We're just gonna
Careful.
say this. If you guys want, go back to check on the Classic Quest. I will let Holden know which video it is, so you guys can check it out. But I got smacked because I didn't really.
Listen, Lindell is gonna comment on this one too, my friend.
It's all good, Lindell. Thank you.
Yo,
But look,
Lindell, I've actually listened. I will listen to that poem you suggested.
But
yes.
no,
let's
long story short,
Okay,
I got
Chris is prepared
smacked,
for
and
once.
then I basically had to get my due diligence up
Chris is
and do it.
Fuck, okay, we get it.
Yeah.
I
So
have
I'm
to-
prepared.
I have to say, like, this track, like, blew it for me. Like, it was amazing. Just, like, diction avoids friction, guys. Fucking speak with your head. Think for a second. What the fuck have I been saying this whole entire time? Every single
We
time.
never know, Daemon.
That's
We
a
never
little
know.
Yo,
true.
fuck your tits. Seriously? Like,
song. So
Yo, it
I
was an
agree with
amazing
you.
track,
And then
an
the
amazing
hook
track.
though, I have to say that this had a really like catchy like speak,
Because I feel like he's
Yeah.
there.
And,
I
like,
felt
he's
like Chuck D
chanting.
was there with me.
and he's like chanting with you. He's encouraging you to get like riled up. He's saying fight it. He's not like saying be dismissive. He's just saying kind of like change your tactics a bit. You have this powerful voice. Every one of you out there has this powerful message.
it's saying that words has more power in this world than action. Action just makes people fucking look at you in a bad fucking way. Instead, show them how fucking smart and clever you are.
Yeah.
And fucking show them how the
Approve.
fuck you're able to do things and how you're not gonna let
I got
fucking
nothing more
people
to
put
add for once.
sticks in your tires. Like, what the hell? Guys, this song was a power track. Just power right there. The words were amazing. They were just so much, not even rage, just energy, and you're just like, you're motivated with this track. It's amazing.
So you gave it a 4, right?
I gave it a fucking 5, bro.
Okay.
I had a
I'm sorry.
fucking eargasm with this.
I got one little problem with this song.
Uh-oh.
The second verse just felt, or I think it's the second part or whatever, it just changes a bit. And the beat is a little unpleasant for me, and the mixing feels a little off for me. Otherwise, everything else said is fucking great. I really, really dug this shit. In fact, I give it a 4.5 on 5. I don't give a shit about the half points and whatever. It's not a 4 because it's way better, but it's not a 5 because it's a part that bothered me. Therefore, 4.5. It's a fucking powerful song, and I have, for once, like, I can't. They said it all for once.
I gave it a 4 on 5 as well, and it's funny you brought that up because
No one
that's
else
the
gave
same.
it a 4 on 5. What as well?
Well,
You gave it a 4.
well, no, he
you
gave it
just
because
said.
technically we don't do points
It's
on
true.
Technically,
headspace.
I broke the rules.
No. Anyway, I gave it a 4 on 5. Funny enough, for the same reason, it did that one part did you can tell, you can
Yeah.
actually tell it. It
I
kind of just
actually liked it.
it seems like it fades off a little bit. And you're kind of just like where did it go? But
Yeah, so it's all opinions and stuff. But yo, all this talking's got me feeling like a yesterday man.
Some wanna be a spectacle. What happened? Instead of spectacular.
My absolute favorite part of this track is they said Migos and they said Drake, and it wasn't necessarily in a positive way, but it also wasn't necessarily in a negative way. It was kind of like a contextual way, and I really appreciated that. Mostly because they said Migos, and we know how much I like talking about Migos with Chris up on this podcast.
right.
Yo,
But this
talk about
track
Migos a little later, but
It's pretty fucking cool. I have to give it credit, man. It's kind of like saying like people don't understand the culture anymore, and they're in their efforts to be new school and their efforts to be different. It's like they're giving up the identity of who they are, almost like they're like dancing like monkeys and shit just to like get paid and like change it up, but
Dude,
almost
you're
like
just preaching.
defiantly. And I was like, yo, Chuck, you kind of like, you're laying it down. But then I do have a confession, yo. There are featured motherfuckers up on this album, and here's the problem. I can't find a track list that tells me who the fuck they are anywhere, and I'm not cultured enough to know who they are. So YouTube community watching us, please, can y'all just tell us who is featured on each of these tracks? I trust somebody out there knows. I will be mad appreciated if you could help us a little bit here. I mean, I'm certain it'll get posted, and then if I find it, I'll update the descriptions. Please tell us. I'm so curious. It was good. I really liked this fucking jam. I thought it was proper. I fucking, like, I got so lost in it. Like, we actually kind of listened almost every song was on, like, 2-3 times. Me and Daemon, we reviewed it together. I was fucking sick. I was vibing. I really like this.
No, this is a straight up banger song. Like this, the message. I like. I wrote it down. I wrote it down. No, I made
Stand
sure.
by. Chris Chrome is verifying his
I like-
brain tots.
I like when he says, right now I'm the man and yesterday is just a song. And I was like, that really stuck with me because, well, you know how I like taking walks down in the park and all this
Absolutely
fun
does.
shit, right? Not one of those moments, but the point is I like how it's one of those spiritual things. That's what I'm trying to get at because it made me think on a different level of like memories and how what we do now is basically just a memory as of the next day. It's just a memory in the past, and that's what's starting to happen now. All these songs are just becoming songs. They're not becoming legendary. They're not becoming on point. They're not even fucking standing out. They're just blending all together in this fucking big old mesh of mumble, and it's just another track. It's like there's no distinction, and that's where I really connected with this.
What he
Chris,
said.
open your mouth.
I-
Put
no.
this in. But just do it. Just do it, please. 2 seconds. Okay, perfect. No, he's fine. He's fine. He's
Yeah,
fine.
no, he's doing well. Shh, it's okay.
Anyways, that's awesome. Well, Chris was taking a slow walk through the moonlight in the park,
Right,
all alone, venturing in his own thoughts and memories. I actually got a little different sense. Very close,
Okay.
but different. So, yes, I get that, like, basically, like, first of all, with the title alone, I got a Tiny Dancer kind of vibe. Just a title alone, and I got that with the start, the piano, like, sort of, like, jamming to it. And then it cuts off with a weird interlude, a voice that talks about, like...
Right.
Anyways, it just, like, gets you into a vibe, and then bring the noise. And then this horrible noise comes in. It takes you off guard, like, it cracks your fucking reality. And you know what I got from that? Like, it filtered through the song as they were talking, like in my brain, more of like what rap used to be, what hip hop used to be, what the past used to be in our history is blurred out by all this noise, by all this fucking activity that's happening and that's getting popular and shit, and nobody really knows what the fuck happened in the past. Nobody really knows nobody's really paying attention to who did what happened between this. There's like rumors spread, not anything concrete, sorry. Whew. But it really, that's what the song accomplished too. It was a lot of noise, the guitar, like the background. It felt real, like it really, like you could feel the struggle through like trying to get out of the, the blurred out vision
trap.
of what is exactly.
That's exactly it. It was, and it's funny you brought that up because I felt the same way listening to it at one point because I was like, this is basically the noise in the background overpowering the vocals of the lyrics kind of just sounds what all this fucking auto-tune and mumble rap sounds like, which is very, very, it's not ironic, I guess coincidental in a sense, or put there for a reason because that's what the song's about. We've lost touch with what we really sound like and what we do, and now we sound like this.
Yep, all that stuff.
5 on 5, man. 5 on 5.
I have to say that go for it.
I'm going for a 4 on this one. You know why? Because I agree with everything that's been said here. Again, it's just that I really kind of did find it did its job so well, actually, that I appreciate the art value of it. I'm giving it a 4 because I'd have to be in a really particular mood to really grind and mash to the sound of this.
I could feel
4.
that. I could feel
like
that.
it's a really well crafted experience, but now we're getting into experience land more so than dope song land, and I appreciate a good experience, but it's not an everyday experience. It's more of a yesterday to tomorrow. I'm fucking around.
I have to say, like, I agree with you, Holden. Like, I really do, just because like this mixtape. My perception of it is more emotions than it is jamming and bopping. Oh, is it a track? Is it a fucking banger? No, it's more like, okay, think a second. And honestly, I think it's smart that it wasn't on the Genius because you really had to listen to it. You couldn't get distracted.
To be fair, I think for most cases we're all supposed to just do that, and we just may have, I use the Genius a bit, but
I mean, it's fun. It's fun to no, I know, but it's fun to like read out and like, especially for someone like me that doesn't necessarily understand all the puns and the thing. I don't go highlighting. Like, I actually go researching. Like, I'm sorry, today was I didn't do any research, but
not available.
And like, it's just. It just took me on an experience. This track was a 4 for me. I have to be in a particular mood to want to listen to it. I have to be either angry, needing to calm down, and just like, okay, let's go, breathe out, let's go. I can do this and power through. Like,
it's almost like fight music, but with like a mature theme to it per se.
I feel like it's fight music, but it's like a self-reflecting fight with yourself.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Anyway, the next one, is Exit Your Mind.
We brought civilization to the world, the fathers and mothers of us all.
Right, this one was a bit different.
This was okay.
It was pretty short, so we've got a 51-second track.
Hold on. It's pretty short, but it accomplishes a fucking lot.
Really?
Yes.
Oh.
Did you actually listen to what they were saying? Like, did you hear it, right?
I just explain.
So the crux of it is basically, black people, you are not just like black people, but like you guys are underselling your actual contributions to shit like the math, the sciences, the actual intellectualism of the world. History starts with you. Really, it's kind of ridiculous that you're not doing more. And then apparently 3 black ladies created the formula to get people to the moon.
Yeah.
And it's a really empowering song. Just saying, listen, ultimately, y'all historically have done all of this shit. It's just not advertised, so don't even play like it's not you. Be that thing. Contribute. Be awesome.
So I got that, but that's really all I got. A little bit. I didn't find it very relatable, strictly because it's kind of.
It's not always about.
I know, and
However,
hold on.
You understand?
I did understand.
Then, right?
I did understand, and I really appreciate what he did with the message and the presentation of it. but just like on my end, I wouldn't ever listen to this nor play it. And
See that? I would recommend doing it, dude. I was listening to this and I was like, you know what? It's not like the most enthralling thing at a first listen, but let's say it kind of like came on, right? And you weren't expecting it, and you were just in kind of one of those whatever, I'm gonna listen to anything moods.
okay,
It's the kind of shit where it says a lot that sinks in the back of your mind, and it's got that kind of like a smooth tone. It doesn't really, it's not overbearing, and it's very short, so
Right.
it's not like it gets long enough to be annoying.
right.
And it says a whole bunch of shit. I'm just saying, these types of tracks have a certain value, man. I get this shit a 4. For real.
Fair enough. Unfortunately, I gave it a 3. I was just very...
Unrelated to the song.
Unrelatable.
A
I didn't understand how my people might not have had signs.
I couldn't. No, but guys, I felt a little bit different. I wanted to actually hear more. What I took from this is really exit your mind. Stop letting society tell you who you are. It's basically what this track is saying. It's basically don't let yourself be overshadowed by the population. Like, unfortunately, I have to say it, but the white people, the power, the fucking the corporation. Sorry.
The branding, the media
branding,
perception of what
exactly.
you're supposed to be.
Exactly. Like, instead of doing that, like, okay, yes, you're smart, you're a biochemist. Don't let your fucking, like, manager fucking take over for your fucking credit. Like, just, like,
I want to just
step
add to
up
that.
and
It's
do
kind
it.
of like, instead of aspiring to be a rap star, some of y'all should aspire to be chemists.
Exactly. It's not impossible. We've done it in the past. Unfortunately, there were a lot of cover-ups, and it's not, like, because of that you should stop doing that. Like,
Boom.
there's another place than the street, guys. You guys are smart and clever. Everybody is smart and clever. You
not to
shouldn't
say-
fucking resort to fucking violence, gangs, and
just
whatever.
to anybody out there, we fully understand that we do not understand the complexities of the situation. This is the point of the song.
True. It's just, and, like...
I get
It's
it.
my headspace as well, guys. I'm really sorry. I really don't mean to offend.
so-
It's really,
so
I feel strongly
did you
about
give it?
certain
Of
things.
course.
I gave it a 4 as well because
Damon.
I wanted more.
All right.
I actually wanted more.
Fair.
I thought it was like just the right amount. So I guess
Yeah,
we,
well,
beat them all.
yeah.
This was a really, really cool song. Except I have one problem with it. The beat kind of got annoying to me.
For me,
a
it
little
was the
bit.
chorus.
Really?
Beat
I understand why it's pretty cool and it whatever. I just got really annoyed with it.
Yo, can you imagine being at the live show and
Yes.
just being like, beat?
Yes, I can.
I mean, look,
And
I
there-
understand.
I would still be like, I don't really like this chorus that much.
You
Fair
know
enough.
why I liked it? Because when I was in freaking high school, I used to jam to My Chemical Brothers, and this brought me back
Okay.
to fucking them. The way, even the rap, the way that they threw it, like the way that they fucking spun it, it was amazing. Just, and the message as well, like it was just like, you can't join him, beat him. So you can't fucking follow in their fucking
But-
footsteps. Like, show them you're
Or
fucking
I think
better.
it's more
That's-
like
that's
if they're
exactly
not gonna
it.
let you in. Like if you look at it,
Exactly.
like, if you can't actually get into their club. Fuck the system.
Make your own club.
But you know,
fucking.
that's what it was. I didn't take it as fight violent or violent
Exactly.
acts. I took it more as like, look, be better than the rest of them. Be like, strive to be better than everyone else.
Don't make me
they
yourself
made
wrist
a,
lower, like fucking.
There was a reference to millennials, and lately, personally, I've been just researching up on millennials because I am one, and I don't really know what the fuck it means,
Millennials living in fears. That was the line.
right? And I kind of just felt like, look, from what I've learned about millennials, we're all types of fucked up and confused and narcissistic, and just like we all think like we're the best. And I feel like what he's saying in this song is like, strive to not be that, but strive to be better than that. Strive to just be that person who's like very humble and like open to like greatness in a
Also,
way.
while making like a whole verse being like Trump, fuck off.
Oh yeah, that too. Fuck his wall. Like he wants to build a wall. Fuck it. We'll just take it
but
down.
like that whole verse was kind of like about him. I felt.
No,
like.
of course.
And then it evolved into the other general central theme. And
I-
look, I just, man, if you can't beat him or if you can't join him, like I just did not like the chorus and the hook. And the beat was like not as great as some of the other beats on this album. And I don't care if other people like it or not. It just kind of grinded my gears a bit. But the message was dope. And I can appreciate the delivery of Chuck D's verses. I actually really
Yes.
enjoyed them. It was
Yes.
powerful. It hit me nicely. but then that chorus would come back again, and I don't know. I give it a 3. I could not generally bump this on a regular. I don't really like the song. I like what he says a lot more.
Nice.
Yeah, I love what he says, and it's like there was one line that really struck me, and it was like, we've got these corporations replacing corporations is what replaces our nations. Basically, it's just saying like, okay, we can't do this. We can't lose our soul. We cannot lose who we are as a people because everything becomes marketing, positioning. Everything is done by the social status of it. I liked it. I have to say because of like the background, but there was something exactly in that point, which you were saying, like the chorus, yeah. I like it, but I couldn't jam to it all the time, so I give it a 4. Actually, I really liked it, but I could not listen to it again. But it's one of those tracks again, feeling. I have to.
Yeah.
Gave it the same. I gave it a 4 on 5. Look, it's what they said. It's one of those tracks. It was a really good song to listen to offhand first shot. But I don't think I would really go back and listen to it unless I was like,
I would.
Bored.
You know what song I would be more inclined to go back and listen to though?
Which one?
Smash the Crowd.
The casket, S1s who blasted. I'm not happy with this soft hippie cotton.
This song's cool. If I understand correctly, we're going straight to the music here and how the music is kind of like his lifeline and his blood, and he knows how to smash the crowd. But he's not alone. Guys, I figured out one of the features on this album. Right after that fucking wicked, kind of scratchy, nice chorus comes my homeboy Ice-T dropping some fucking crazy bars up in a minute, and he fits it. You know he knows how to rock a mosh pit.
And
you know it. That Body Count album was sick this year.
Yo, you can actually hashtag him on Twitter. Freaking actually Ice-T, guys.
He talks to you on Twitter.
Yes, he will.
He's pretty dope.
Yeah, and he's pretty dope on this freaking track, though.
I wish I knew who the other one was. I don't. And
No,
I wish
it's a mesh between both. It's a mesh between Ice-T and Chuck D.
Ice-T only does the second verse.
No, they mesh. They mesh. I made sure to listen to it again.
Okay.
I feel, you know what? Somebody please correct me if I'm wrong. But I'm like 90% right that Ice-T and Chuck D at one point go like half verses on a full.
I was under the impression that it was Chuck D, Ice-T, Chuck D, somebody else. I might be wrong, and that's where you come in, YouTube, because we'll update later.
Comments below.
But that beat was fucking nice, and the song like transformed. It wasn't just. It was kind of like not only do they smash the crowd, but they have the ability to transform the track and almost bring you to a place where, like you were saying before, you could almost picture yourself in the crowd, like you're in the room with these guys, and you're fucking bopping to it. It was a good jam, man.
Unfortunately for me, I feel like there was just way too much on this. I'm not saying it's bad. Like I really don't want to say it's bad because it's not. But it's just like very extensive. There is so much on this. I
happen to like hard rock, metal, and punk and shit.
Right.
So for me, this is fucking exhilarating.
Right.
I think it was a 4. Straight 4.
I give it a 4 as well. That's where I was kind of like, oh, hold it.
No, it's fine. It's a 4 because, like, you know what? It's not like the greatest track in the world, but it's a fun fucking jam. Everybody shows up. Everybody does it right. Everybody validates what they do, and I could vibe to this in the right mood.
Yo, I really love this, and when Ice-T came in, that's when I woke on this track. Like, really? Like, that's when I was like, oh, okay. Woo. Sorry, did I apply it properly, please?
Yeah, you did. Yes.
Well, you applied it grammatically properly.
That was actually the first time I did it, like, in my life. But no, like, it was just, first of all, I loved the bar, like, destroys bars like Hell's Angels. I'm sorry, that meant a lot for me, in a sense. But anyways, it was just a whole, like, you're trying to be us with a vision of what you've heard, like the rumors of what it is, but you're not necessarily doing the research and understanding what actually happened. This is what I got from it. Like, it was really like you do not have understanding of the situation, and you're sort of flaunting it like you own it. But more on that later, because
it's okay.
Anyways, it was hard. I did have a hard time listening to it. There was something like scratchy, so I did give it a 4. I would listen to it again just because the subject is interesting. I love like how they did it. Like, so far this is flawless. Like,
Well,
just to put a little
flawless.
point on
I mean,
that.
like for lyrically, like I like it.
But just to put a little point on that, you do have a point. Chuck D really knows how to capture the crowd and get his message across in a certain way. I want
I do feel that this album has a pretty central concept to it. That like one of the things I've noticed on a few of the albums we reviewed is just sometimes songs don't make sense, and so far I haven't got that feeling one time.
Fair enough.
But for reals, if you can't beat. Fuck, I said it wrong. If you can't join them, beat them, fuck me.
I just want to say, I understand what the point of this was, but I could really do without it.
Yep.
So you know how we were talking about me having that feeling with the whole concert thing? This is this particular song is where it actually really struck me. I was like, okay, this is everybody at an interlude or a little break intermission at a concert, and they're just like doing it and like beat 'em, getting the whole entire crowd pumped up, or even their group of friends at a party.
I would look at it a little differently. I
But
think you gotta consider that it's a mixtape, and that every song has so far flown into each other, right? Like I don't know if you actually listened to it as a mixtape, but the first time I bumped it, it was on YouTube, right? I just played it through like the full way through, and so when you get to it, it's almost like the songs are a little seamless. And so, on its placement on this mixtape and the way it flows between the songs and it ties into the other one, I was like, okay, I appreciate this little interlude track thing.
Right.
And it's cool and it's really well made, but it's kind of boring to me as a standalone track. So 3 on 5. But as part of the album experience, it's almost necessary, and I wouldn't want to hear it without it. But I also wouldn't want this to come on random and just kind of pop up in the middle of a playlist where it's completely unrelated.
But you know why it's necessary for the album? Because if we go back, and actually I thought of this, when we go back and look at our review on Yo Bum Rush the Show, and you listen to that album, there's a lot of types of skits at the end of songs like this that they make it flow with it. So this is that's why I gave it a 3 on 5, because I was like, fine, you know what, you're staying authentic to what you are, to who you are, you're doing it the same as before, but just, I could honestly just do without this track, like standalone wise.
And you?
You know what? I'm somebody that has a lot of like power track music in my track list, and I have a lot of fucking motivation like shit, like just like, oh, let's go work, fucking go. And sometimes I like to take a no fucking brainer, and I like to fucking relax, and this is exactly the type of 15-second like to a minute track that I appreciate a lot. It just like brings me back to reality, like makes me like fucking chill for a bit, and I gave this a 5.
Okay.
Because it gave me like, it reminded me a lot of what Moby did, like for certain tracks, especially the one that he had Christopher Walken, like freaking.
I have no idea.
I can't remember that fucking
It's
title.
A Moby track.
But anyways,
I don't know if anyone remembers Moby anymore.
There was.
Actually, you know what? Our Public Enemy fans who are watching the show probably do remember Moby.
They should fucking remember Moby because it's around that era. But yeah, no, I loved this. This is exactly what I like in an interlude track, and I love this. I gave this a 5. Like, nice. I hear you. I hear you, Public Enemy.
So be it.
Can't stop, won't stop, not a one size fit. Whatever you want in the world, start by beat.
I gotta say, like, straight up, we listened to this like fucking 3 times in a row.
I couldn't. Like, it's just like,
oh. Here's the thing. It didn't click. I was like, what the fuck's he talking about? What the fuck is this song about?
He says it at the end.
But then I thought about this sentence that I hear so often in life that grinds my gears to no fucking end.
Please.
It is what it is.
No.
And I know that this song, Chuck got pissed off because somebody said that shit. And this whole song is addressing the it. And it's kind of playing up on that ridiculously. But it's saying, take that it and fucking change it for once.
Okay.
Guess what?
Okay.
It is what it is a bullshit statement. The whole song is a response just to that, with like literally like playing that rhyme to death, but not in a bad way. It kind of reminded me of like the earlier kinds of eras of rap, and he's just popping and it's a lot of high energy. But it took me a minute, and once I understood it, it clicked, and I was like, this is pretty fucking solid.
I think you clicked that when you understood that it was like spelling exactly, like change it. Like,
okay,
well, that's when I clicked at the end when he goes, you want to see, no, be the change you want to see. And that's when I was like, oh, fuck.
For real, I had to type out the change it part. I couldn't play. I was like, what the fuck's he spelling? What the... typed it out. I was like, "Oh, you're an idiot, Holden." Like, it was one of those fucking.
It's
moments.
on record.
It was no. I actually loved this song. This was basically like, stop making excuses. Stop saying but this, but
Yes.
that, but this. Oh, I
Yes.
would do this, but I'm not there yet. Or it's like, you know what? I'm this, but you know what? Because of this, that person. You know what? Change it.
Yeah.
Fucking like step up, make it happen. You
That's
can
it.
overcome those boundaries. The only thing you have to do is fucking
Change it.
Just do it.
Change
Show
Change
the buffet, bro. Just do it.
It's like, so be it. Like, so change into that. You know what I got as well? I got that, you know that famous sentence? Dress like the job you want to have.
Well, fake it till you make it's another good one.
Yeah,
but
but
I think the title is even interesting, right? Because it plays up on the commandment style nature of "so be it," right? And then kind of validates that it needs to be changed all at the same time. There's a little irony. I give this a 4. I thought the beat was hard hitting and shit, but it's kind of static, and the chorus is a little long, little long for that chorus. So because of that, 4 on 5.
I give it a
enough.
4 as well. There was something out of it that I couldn't do. I can't remember what it was. However, it was very good. Now that I re-listened to it, I would change my grade, but it is a 4 for what Daemon wrote.
Fair enough. I gave it a 4 on 5 as well. Holden said it. It was very static. There wasn't too much dynamics to it. And yeah, that's it.
Anyway,
Oh, really?
No, there wasn't much to this.
Damon was really excited to introduce the next song.
Because I love how it's written. It's basically like suck med digital at Heroin. I fucked it up.
Yeah.
Make this snap back, yeah, get back is high school all over again, so I clap.
I feel like this is the almost, given the nature of the album, the token fuck social media, fuck your cell phone, fuck your
Yep.
futuristic age kind of
Yep.
song. And
Yep.
I say token not to be condescendingly, but it almost feels token in the nature
Okay.
of how this song was created.
Please explain that. I'm confused when you say token.
Like-
Like just me.
I have conversation with lots of like 50, like Chuck's probably like 40, 50, like old men, like those
Right.
kinds of people. They staring at their phones and all that shit. Being like,
Right.
basically what I criticize you for when you stare at
Right.
your phone for hours on end.
Yo,
Right.
and it's just really like the freaking tangent. Like, you walk into Metro, subway for those who don't know, or the underground station.
Or the tube if you're from the UK.
The freaking, like, it's just like you see everybody there and you just see them on their freaking phones or tablets or whatever, and just like going after those likes, going
But
after
like,
the
hold
social
on,
freaking status
hold
quo.
on. I'm gonna do this right now, and I'm gonna be a shit. But I had a conversation with Holden one day, and he was going on explaining to me how there is no difference between people being on their phone and people.
Well, no.
Reading a book, having a
Actually,
newspaper.
I
There's
wanna-
always been like
So okay. The idea is that I saw some description of the Telegram thing from back in the day, and the way they described it was basically like, oh, nobody's gonna have real life conversations anymore, blah blah blah. It was a lot of the comparable comparisons, but what's interesting is this song's all the differences between then and now, sir. It is describing a lot of seriously real,
Right.
actual problems with like stuff like validation or the comparisons between the way people kind of used to live and the way that it's almost like there's no real hood community because there's a YouTube. There's no real team anymore. It's all solo promo. There's no real this anymore. And then you got the girl rapper who I wish I knew who that was.
Which, okay, because you brought her up, I thought that was the most epicest fucking thing on this album.
The girl?
Yeah, because I didn't look at her as a female art. Well, obviously I did, but I didn't look at her as the character. I looked at her as the technological voice arguing back at
no,
man,
agreeing. She was
agreeing.
agreeing
Right?
to him, like fucking
right?
setting fucking
Chris,
gas
stop
to the
yelling.
fire.
Right.
She was really setting
You're
gas to the fire.
contradicting yourself. That's
That-
so
no,
weird.
it's the way she did it. I felt like the way she presented what she said felt like she was kind of like being the technology retaliating what Chuck D says, but then
it's not at all. Like she was kind of criticizing. She was bringing like the female element on.
Yeah, no,
She
let
was
me do-
describing,
right,
like,
I
the
got that when I
girl-
listened
no.
to it again.
No. She was like really like describing how girls go out of their
Are
way
you
to
saying
look
that
amazing in their
she
picture and getting
sounded
the
like
likes.
she's actually used Instagram? Is that what you're trying to say?
I guess because
No, she's like,
like-
criticizing Instagram,
No. What I'm
criticizing
saying is
Facebook
that
and the
Chuck
girls.
kind of doesn't sound like he's ever opened up a computer and Googled. But the girl actually sounds like she has an Instagram account. As I guess, if that's what you were trying to say,
It just-
I get where you're coming
it
from.
just really felt like it. When I listened to the song a second time around, I actually understood what she was going at, and I was like, okay, no, she's agreeing with him, yes. But at a first time around, I kind of got this feeling where like she's kind of just like again retaliating and being like, well, this is what we're doing and this is what we're trying to do.
It's a criticism in the exact same way that Chuck is criticizing.
Except
Right.
she's
No
doing...
retaliation.
Right.
There's
I know.
I
That's
know
what I'm saying on the
you're
first listing,
She's,
but
she's
then
re-
I
she,
got
the word
to
you're
it.
looking for is reiterating.
Yes.
Ah.
And then you're reiterating that you didn't get it on the first time.
Well, there's a bunch of reiterating in this, so.
No, but it was really like how everybody is just powerless, how they're slaves to the status quo of what social networking brought to this word. It was really like you can't resist
Here we
it.
go.
You're
Here's the conversation.
Everybody's just like, you know, like even me, like sometimes it's like I'm shaking my goddamn head. Like it's just like, oh, fuck. Like really, like what is this socializing?
I have to say that it's totally just one side of the picture.
It's
and
it's like
do
it's
not
their
fully
impression of
agree.
us. It's their impression or our impression of like our
Well,
little
it's
brothers,
just
our little
saying-
sisters, and like
But
how they're.
It's very condescending against technology blindly. And
It's true.
It's not really selling the message that with moderation the shit makes sense and that it can be a valuable asset. It's kind of almost criticizing its use. And I think it comes down to education on the subject. I mean, if people like Chuck D use smartphones, they could probably accomplish more. And in the same way, if the kids
I think Chuck D actually did use these things because he actually goes back and like, yo, it's high school all over again. Let me shit on your wall, like.
Yeah, but there was no. They didn't
No, but
exist
that's-
when he was in high school.
No,
Yeah.
but he probably fucking like saw the trend coming up, like from like
No,
he
I mean,
understood.
Like, he was in high school in the 80s, long before any of this even was conceived, right?
Hold on.
So no, I'm saying he's an adult in the 80s, right? So his high school is so far back, and for him, this is
when
like
was he born? Sorry, I made no research at all.
no,
I don't.
we're
I'm
saying
sorry.
his first album came out, as in they're already fully grown people in the late 80s.
Yeah.
Therefore, they were entirely part of it. Like, so he's so old. He's basically like
My
a
age.
50-ish man.
No, but I
talking-
mean his album started like when
I don't
was
remember.
born.
But what
so
I'm saying,
wow.
like, he's in that older generation, past the Google divide and all
Well,
that.
look at it this way. Yo Burmers the Show came out in
Yes,
1987.
we've established
So,
his age at this
like,
point.
that's just,
We've
you know.
established his age at this
I just
point.
wanted to be part
You
of the
just wanted to say
conversation.
redundancy.
Yo, anyways, instead of tangenting around and saying the same thing, as I want to say, this track was awesome. I loved it. It made my heart flutter a little bit, just saying like, oh, he understands me so much. I gave this a 5. Like, I feel a little bit this way. I'm sorry. I loved this track. The girl, like, her fucking reiteration was amazing, on point, and I loved her version of the
She was
female
a
whirl of
small
it.
part of the song.
She still had 2 fucking, like, you know, whatever. It's my
I give-
fucking
I give
review,
this
Holden.
I give this a 4 because on the one hand they're all ignorant as fuck about the subject. It really is biased. Like, as much as everyone has fear, the more I've studied the fuck out of this, the more I realize that everybody needs to learn how to use a smartphone or you're all fucked. And if you don't understand that using your smartphone all the time is like drugs, then you're also all fucked.
I
So
love how
if
they
it-
said like, oh, it's a
right?
digital heroin is this digital heroin is making you high. Like
See,
that was a
that's-
good lyric.
That's valuable, but at the same time, if you're looking at it specifically like heroin, you're missing the point, and you're also part of the problem. Is something I want to say to all those technological haters.
But like, okay, I see it from a point of view that I don't understand how people will put themselves in shit to buy like a device that they cannot afford
Yeah, but
just to
again-
make their fucking
so
life
that
go better.
is,
I
again,
get it, but
that's
it's like
also
ah.
taking the extreme example, and that's what that's what he's doing. Most people I know are still on their fucking iPhone 4s from back then when they did that 5 years later and shit. Therefore, it invalidates it all because the practical tool is if you bought a $600 device that lasted you 5 years and it helped you with a million fucking things, then it's actually a great investment
I
for
guess.
the benefit of your life. And if you don't actually understand the benefits that come from it and how you can use the tools, well then yeah, it looks like a waste. But shit, if I didn't have a top end phone right now, I couldn't do half the shit I'm doing.
True. I have to say, like I use
I'm
it all the
going
time
to buy
too.
a top end phone because it's cheaper than buying a fucking camera to accomplish low end video shit in the future and stuff. So to just minimize the value of technology, it just that bothered me enough to give it a 4, even though the song was pretty dope.
Fair enough.
You, Chris?
I gave the song a 5 on 5. I really liked the message behind it. And I really liked how like they both just flowed together on it, and it's just a really powerful song.
Alright, I guess after that we can talk about the Terrorwrist. I gotta say it. I ain't fully grasped this one. What I took from it was kind of playing up on the sensationalism of ideas like terrorism and how it kind of invokes fear, and it kind of felt like almost random and chaotic on purpose to create this disjointed message of almost paranoia or something over a pretty solid beat. I don't know if there was more to it than that aside from dope rhyming, because again it's dope rhyming, sick beats and shit. That's about all I got on this. I liked it. I thought it was pretty solid.
That's pretty much it. I didn't really either. Neither did I get the message from it either. I just thought it was really cool. Chuck D comes in fucking blasting. The beat's just so enthralling to listen to, but I didn't get it.
I actually got a little bit more, and it's when I heard the last sentence that I believe is Bush actually stating, the evidence we gathered led us to believe that terrorists were responsible, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah,
it's like really like
news clips and shit
this,
at the end.
yeah, this track is really like, from what I understand, putting words in the nation's mouth about what to be afraid of, and like about like people protesting. Oh, you should be afraid of these protesters because these protesters, they're coming with their fists up, they're ready for fucking battle, and they want to fucking burn your houses down. No respect. And we're getting this sort of social image with the news about like all of this violence, like political messages gone wrong, like just the violence in the world and this and that. And it's like everything is like, how did this all start? There was a blah 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 blah. I can't remember what it is. Anyways, there was like really a message to me that was strong, saying like, stop letting people putting words in your mouth. Like, that's what I understood from it.
Ideas in your head, even.
Yeah. Just like planting a seed, just a doubt, something for you to fear, and just like, you know what? Maybe I shouldn't like travel there, or maybe I shouldn't do this. Maybe I shouldn't hang with this type of people,
Well, I
or
think
just
it's
like
also a little bit of like paying attention to just how things are spun and the messages and how the media plays up on shit.
it could split nations, guys. Like,
I give this a 4. I thought it was
me too.
pretty solid. It wasn't the best. It was okay.
Yep, 4 out of 5.
Okay, so toxic time.
And box it, savage, they say we can't stop it.
Ew.
This one was pretty cool. I felt like it was just attacking culture. It was kind of like,
Well, the new culture, because he was like, you can't sing to save your life, but can you sing and save a life?
so what I
Like,
meant
really,
was more
like
like I thought like he went after mumble rap, right?
And he
all
said
sorts
it.
of other shits like that, and he's really, again, attacking the message behind the culture. He's saying the ideas that are being presented are toxic, you know, and that's kind of again, it's really like in your face, powerful, fucking blast you with messages.
Instead of like being journalism, it's just the same bullshit of just like flipping bricks and fucking getting money in cars. There's not actual like a history or an actual message behind it besides what we all know what to do as a rapper.
What did you just say? Say that again.
The whole thing?
No, like what did you mean?
Oh, well, I just meant like the new age of music. I feel is just all about money, cars, drugs, women, and like you know that. And there's not real journalism in it.
Well, it's not that. It's just that all those things you described are toxic in the sense that when you obsess over these things, they're like addictions. They break your spirit. They distract you. And the way they're kind of spun out is toxic. Though the way it's almost poured out is not a good thing. Is kind of more what I took from it.
No, I had a problem with the flow of it, just because like I had trouble with it was slow paced for me, like just
he was also kind of like trying to chop a little bit.
Yeah, but
I say trying to because the delivery was not quite as
It was choppy.
And maybe that's why I noticed for the first time in the album, like the first time I noticed it, the aggression pointed towards like the N-word, like that like really struck me, and it made me pay attention a little bit more, and just like, was that intentional, like to put that in that way, like for
absolutely.
them, like these guys, like that's really like
it was
I'm
so
trying
contextual because they was using it as like saying, and you still call yourself this. Yeah, it made total sense.
I actually commend this. Like, Chuck, I really have to say, basically, the flow was like really weird for me. I had really a hard time to like connect to it and just like listen to it. Like, it was hard a little bit for me to listen to. I was distracted by many things. Unfortunately, like for this,
It was just spastic, and
Yeah.
it wasn't on point spastic. It was kind of off spastic. And look, I give it a 4 stills because I do appreciate it. I didn't hate it. I like offbeat spastic. It kind of made me feel like a early Busta Rhymes or one of these crazy like fucking rushes and shit. I like what it was saying too, and I feel like in the right kind of mood, it's a proper fucking anthem banger shit.
No, for me, it struck nil for me. Like, I didn't hate it, but I didn't love it. Like, unfortunately, that's when got a chromite for the first one in the album.
If you're gonna say chroma, you gotta say 3 the first time.
I gave it a 4 on 5. I actually really liked the way it was presented and it was produced, but I don't know, I wouldn't really turn back to this and bump it again, to be honest.
Fair enough, because it kind of smells like teens hear it.
I get it. Can't nobody do it like me, boy.
Aside from the obvious Nirvana pun, I happen to think this is a particularly interesting song because Flava Flav comes in and it's his first real verse on this track, and compared to what we've previously encountered with Flava Flav, it's quite good, and I love its use because it's kind of like, this is more like an attack, I think, directly on mumble rap and those other styles of things, because it's almost like saying you're masking the ridiculous shit you say behind your auto-tune, and you know what? It smells like teens hear it. Like, as much as us adults can't listen to this shit, and we're not 100% sure what's being said in these tracks, the teens do get it. They understand it. It's fucking clear to them. And the fact is, it's almost like a bunch of shit's being said. And then Flava Flav said some ridiculous crap, I feel like. But it was just enough to be, like, super fucking clear. And I think he was kind of, like, being like, y'all motherfuckers sound like me back when I was on crack back in the day, fucking acting all wonky and shit. Like, and that's kind of how I took Flava Flav's verse. And then it just kept metamorphosizing into more and more dope shit, kind of expressing the point, like, what you say matters because fucking the kids hear it, and that shit is super important.
I actually took it 2 ways. I took it that way as well, like, you know, you should be careful what you say, but I also kind of took it in the sense of, like, kind of giving pride to themselves as Public Enemy, and like people are still fucking with them now. People, like even the younger generation, they might be listening to a lot of mumble rappers or even auto-tune rappers, but they're still going back and listening to Public Enemy from what they see. That's how I took it. I was like, okay.
I mean, their career never ended. They've been
Right.
consistently releasing albums for a while.
No,
Although,
of course.
This one, just side note, was a surprise album. Nobody really knew until it kind of just appeared.
Hello.
Yeah, it was sort of like a kick in the face. Like it really took me by surprise. I didn't know what to do about it. It took me like the second listen, like sort of like I was just like, okay, it's sort of like understand, but I didn't get anywhere near just because it was just a noise different. There was too much contrast with the background and the freaking voice.
Okay.
I couldn't. I didn't hate it though. I could listen to this in the background as I'm, cleaning or fucking cooking or something. Yes, I do female things too. But I gave it a 3. I couldn't get past this.
I really like this.
Overbearing. Maybe if I listened to it more, it was just
really
too
liked
much of a
Flava
surprise.
Flav, okay, I liked him. It was so good.
But I don't know him, so it's not
That's
fair to him.
understandable.
Like
And
maybe
to be
if
fair, on this album, it's kind of like the first time he's done anything more than a couple of hype man roles. It's been
Right.
mostly Chuck. And so I can see how it's a bit of a confusing, but there were a few features and stuff. And I think there was even somebody featured on this song. I don't know who they are. But I liked it. I gave this a 4. I could bump this shit. I was like, it's not an everyday song, but this whole album's not an everyday song. So given that point, it's out the window. It's pretty fucking good. It's a 4.
Fair enough. I also gave this a 4 on 5. Just a little comment on Damon's point where you're saying there's too much noise variation with the vocals and everything. It felt like every person's verse had a different sound in the
Yes,
background
absolutely.
to match what they did. Because I noticed that the minute Flava came in with that like type
beat went
type
like
thing,
that.
it went like that, and
when
then
Chuck came in later on,
it was a
like more
completely
solemn.
different thing.
Like
It was
and
really cool.
I love that shit. It's kind of like progressive rock back in the 70s and shit. Or 80s. I don't actually know. I'm prog rock. Don't hate me. It's like the genre.
Hate him on Rockin' Beards.
Anyway, I fucking felt this shit. And
I gave it a 4 on 5.
Yeah, I know. And so there's like one left, right?
Yeah.
One left with 2 parts.
Guys, let's go rest and beat.
Part 1 and 2.
Yo.
This is like pour out one for the dead homies at first, because it's like straight up.
But it's not just pour out one. It's like pour out multiple
And he like
for all the
lays
homies.
out like pretty much every legend of rap that dies in the first verse, but eloquently done. Like shit like, it may not be a pimp, but you know, shout out Pimp C, UGK forever type shit. And it's like, okay.
It was a respectable,
Because-
like, sort of goodbye, and like, you
But-
know what, we owed to what you've
But
brought us,
what was-
and we're gonna respect it, like, in a
But
memory.
it was so interesting was the spectrum of hip hop he covered. It wasn't just like he went here and there. He went to every possible avenue of dope quality hip hop from his perspective, and even whatever. He just made sure to pay homage equally across the board, right? And then that chorus comes in, like light a candle or whatever. It's fucking sick and shit. And then it's about the death of hip hop and shit. And it was like, oh, okay, so the song's got layers like that onion. And it was like, okay. And so it kind of goes on from there back to the chorus. And then I don't remember what the third verse is about.
Well, it switches. After those 2 verses, the beat switches into a different tone, which would be the part 2, actually.
No, there's a third little
Yeah,
bit
yeah, it
before
was
part
part-
2. Part 2 is like the part at the end where they list every fucking dead rapper ever in the long ass outro bit.
That was the first
Okay.
part.
But there was a little kind of part right before, I think.
Right,
a
right, no,
third-ish
you're
verse.
right.
And there was like a third-ish verse that talked a little bit about something maybe to the death of the hip-hop some more. I don't really
Yeah, because
remember.
I remember, like, there was, like, in the third verse, just actually fucking, it says, like, basically, we lost real flows to mumbles
Yeah.
and memes. Like, just really throwing it out
Told
there.
you,
It's like,
third verse.
you know what? We freaking missed it, but we're not gonna forget it. Like, guys, the end...
But I think it's kind of being a little more satirical than that. It's saying, like,
But I have an
this is what's
issue with
happening.
Why do you have an issue with that?
Because I get
Loves
it.
Migos.
No, it's
He
not even.
relates
No,
more to
it's
the new
it's not
music.
even. It's not even the Migos. It's memes now are a way of communication. Granted, a lot of the memes with all the
But-
political bullshit is all fucked up and
Well,
wrong.
it's
It's
not
out of
that,
context.
dude. It's just that okay. So
Hold on. The reason why I'm saying this is just because the whole raindrop drop top thing, I didn't know Bad and Bougie was a thing until I actually saw the meme first. And then I actually saw one of those like video memes where they're fucking using Bad and Bougie to like rip off some fucking child show, and then I actually listened to the song.
But
So
like the point is that the song shouldn't be a meme, or if you really want to go there, Black Beatles was a paid sponsored meme.
right.
But it's even more to that. Meme culture, if you
Marketing
go back to
technique.
the technology conversation, meme culture is kind of like summarizing ideas into really snapshot, one-sided, sensationalist fucking moments. I'm actually really against meme culture. I think it's one of the sides of where I agree with Chuck D's old man stance. It's in my opinion, and from what I've seen online, it's caused far more damage than good. And if
It's
you
so
look
much
at the way
misleading and
it's turning music into memes, it takes away from the value. Memes is like bullshit pop art. It's like somebody slaps a screenshot and some words and goes, I'm an artist. That's a meme. Sure, some of them are clever.
Okay.
Some of them are funny. But when you're talking about your songs and your hip-hop, do you really want your hip-hop to be a bunch of really raindrop, drop top? Like, look, it's hype. But it's not like fucking classic banger shit. It's just kind of hype-ish. I fucking don't like this song. But in general, I can see how it's a good meme. And the fact that if a number one track is based more on its ability to be a meme than its ability to stand alone like a hype track that's more
Okay.
than just being fucked up and like vibing to it, more than something you can just dab to, then I get where Chuck D's coming from. It's almost saying the soul has been compromised for the sake of the profitability and the marketability,
It
which
was-
is all a meme is.
I feel like he was like you said, like paying homage to like basically and equally. It was fair in his description. Like there wasn't.
at the
It was the
end-
night at the round table,
I
basically.
know, but seriously, at the end, like I was saying when we were hearing it before, it's honestly like he opened up the Wikipedia list of every dead rapper in the hood ever and like just read them all off. It was like 3 minutes of just naming guys who are no longer with us, whether they were killed naturally or not. And it's so like it's just so much culture, so many Google items. It's so dope.
It's
But-
basically it was basically saying like, guys, we didn't forget you. Like, your memory is not corrupted by what is happening in the music
Exactly.
industry. We remember. Please stay at peace.
And
You'll
telling
not
all
be
of
forgotten.
us to like go out there and maybe
Go check those out.
Maybe make a list of some classic albums that happen to exist out there, and actually take some time to listen to them and maybe review them a little bit.
Oh my
and gain
god.
Some fucking
This is
insight.
such an interesting idea.
Nudge,
Anyway.
nudge, wink, wink, say
So,
no more, guys.
I give this shit a 4.
I gave it a 5. I was actually blown
was, like,
apart by
7
this.
I
minutes
gave
of this.
this. I gave this
It
a
kinda
4.
started to draw out a bit.
Yeah,
at the end
it
for
was
me.
just a little long.
No,
like,
guys, it was
highly
a part
res-
1 and a part 2. It
No, I
wasn't
get
a
it. I
slash.
get it. Fuck
was
a slash. Fuck a
and
part 1,
two.
part 2.
what?
I get it.
I
was
love it.
7 minutes ish long.
That's like 6.5.
And honestly, the 3 minutes at the end of just listing out the names,
Was
it was
the
like
best part.
it was really good until it got really kind of long for me.
Yeah.
and it was cool.
Are you sure it was at the end? I remember it at the
Yes.
beginning.
It's at the
though.
end where
It's
he just
both. It's the first verse,
Okay.
and then the whole
there was more.
part
like
2.
okay, so the first verse kind of has like certain he plays
Yeah,
around like
it's a little
wordplay
more
and
of,
puns
like-
with certain artist
Yeah,
names,
but part
but then
2
the
felt
last
to me
part
more
is
like a
just
story.
But
Like
part 2 was nothing more than 3.5 minutes of him saying like shout outs to everybody off of that Wikipedia list. That's all part
Okay.
2 was.
granted, much love and much appreciation
Yeah, no,
for
no,
it,
I'm
straight
just
up.
saying.
It's just
It was just to me it was kind of like I if I was vibing and I was feeling the whole album, absolutely would chew. It's pretty dope. But in this case, it was kind of like
how do you listen to
as a
this
song,
standalone?
it's like a paying tribute kind of track, and I gotta be in a mood for this.
yeah, but for me, it's like that empty song that I have, like, to burst me out of my power bubble. Like, that's
Okay.
exactly another type of track, like, that I enjoy. I love the end to this. It was a great homage
Exactly.
to the message that he was trying to say throughout the album. Like, we haven't forgotten about what you represented
Or-
and what we used to represent and what we tried bringing to the world and what we fought through and what we broke through
Hopefully
to
shit
fucking
changes
get to
after
that.
people listen to this
And
album.
even though, like, there's fucking, like, rampage and freaking, like, gluttony and freaking, like,
Well,
all of the
it's
sins
more
coming out, like,
it's
freaking.
not so much the sins. I don't like the way you phrase
Oh,
that.
okay.
I think it's more about the blatant
The ego?
disregard for our culture, for our
Yes.
history,
Yes,
and the fact that
thank
we're
you.
so willing to trade it all for meme success.
Back on the memes.
Absolutely.
Well, I gave this a 4 on 5 as well.
Fair enough.
So, what's your roundup, guys?
4.06
Jesus.
on 5. I pretty much thought the whole album was of almost the exact same quality. For the most part, excellent production, excellent greatness, excellent messages, excellent everything. But I gotta be in a mood to rage with Public Enemy on this one.
Yep.
So 4.06. I really did dig this.
Mr. Crow?
My final score is a 4 on 5. It's a really great album. It's really insane. I enjoyed it because not too long ago, I feel like I just did Public Enemy's first
It
thing.
was not too long ago.
Right?
Felt like yesterday.
Well, no, it's
Oh,
been
yeah.
a minute, but anyway, I really liked it. I like how they brought back their old style and try to transition to this new style. I really like Chuck D's voice. I like the fact that Flava doesn't sound so fucking cracked out. But all in all, the album itself, like I said, like I said 2 minutes earlier, I hope people start changing shit after listening to this album because this really brings light to a lot of musical talent that needs to be brought back.
Well,
Sure.
I'm happy that I reviewed this one and not the last one you guys were talking about, because from what you said, it was a little bit scary, and
Very
honestly,
different.
like, I didn't know what to expect. And Public, like, you guys,
You should listen to the last one.
I'm gonna maybe if I'm curious enough, but this
It's-
album was banger. I gave this a 4.15, so
if
this
you-
was a
hold on.
classic, guys.
Just to counter your idea, if you really listen to this album, it was go listen to
afraid.
the history of rap music,
Oh.
and now we're saying go back to the
Yeah,
beginning
but
of
there's a
Public
different.
Enemy.
I'm not trying to be a smart ass fucking dumb rapper. Like,
it's-
oh, sorry, I'm not trying to be a smart ass rapper. This is not where I'm going. I'm trying to
this is saying
understand.
everybody needs to look at the history of stuff, and even the hip hop heads, the fans, the everybody out there.
See, I got.
understand-
If you want to try and be part of this, you need to
No.
understand where this comes from. That's what I understood from the album.
But it's more if you want to even, but you're a part of it. You're a consumer of the product. So even the music you listen to, the stuff you support, the things you hit play on Spotify, all of it, you are part of it. And he's saying take the time to go look at the culture so that you can help understand the difference.
Don't
So
let
that
it be just
you can
another
And
share
not
Yesterday
spread a
song.
rumor.
So I would say everyone is directed at this, and yeah, it is targeting in particular areas, maybe black people on that track or rappers on that track. but the core theme seems to be study the past to understand the future.
True.
History repeats itself, guys.
Anyway, what did you give it?
I gave it a 4.15. We
Oh, right,
we're
right.
hit
I
a
missed
classic.
That. I'm out of it. My headspace is fucking full.
Yeah.
You actually rated it higher than both of us, and you're so afraid to go back in time. Anyway, if you fucking like the video, hit the like button.
Smash the subscribe button.
This is like the latest I think I've recorded for fucking one of these in ages. I'm dead inside. Subscribe to the channel if you're down. Comment below and tell us all the things you hated about it, what you loved about it. Recommend some shit for the classic albums. And you know what? Bye. I'm out.
Bye. Headspace